My name is Anthony Elmore Sr. I am Memphis' first 35mm independent theatrical filmmaker. And this video is titled, We Use Filmmaking for Cultural Diplomacy. You see, in 1906, SMPTE, or the Society of Motion Picture Television Engineers, deemed the 35mm film as the industry standard, whereas any 35mm film could be shown in any movie theater worldwide. Whereas in 1990, our film, made right here in this house in Orange Mound, called the Contemporary Gladiator, premiered in Nairobi, Kenya at the Nairobi Cinema. Now, what's important about this is we are using cultural diplomacy to make a difference. You see, this happened. You see, one of the greatest dreams of my life was to travel to Africa and meet and make a connection to my ancestral African heritage. And I was treated with a hero's welcome in Kenya, whereas all over Kenya, every major media, every newspaper and publication, they gave us just about front page coverage. And they were so excited in Kenya to have an African American to come. And we were so excited to be in Kenya. And it was such a wonderful experience. In fact, it changed my life so much that I vowed to dedicate and spend the rest of my life bringing relationships between Africans and African Americans together. Now, what we're doing in the spring of 2024, we are producing another movie called Rock and Roll, A Black Legacy. Now, this picture, we are using film as a means for cultural diplomacy. Now, one of the things we're doing, we're shooting some scenes of our movie in the third largest city in Kenya called Kisumu, whereas Professor Dr. Peter Oanyang Nango is the governor. Now, you may not know Professor Nango, but most people in America know his daughter, who is the Academy Award winner and star of the Black Panther movie, La Peter Nango. Professor Nango in 2019 came right inside to this house and we had African food. You see, cultural diplomacy. You see, in 1990, our film that showed at the Nairobi Cinema in Kenya, we also in 1992, we met Kenya's president, the late Daniel Arap Moore, who called us an Africa ambassador. You see, we were the first in Africa history to make a trade deal between Africa and African Americans, which was something that's very historic. Now, in shooting the movie that we're going to make, Rock and Roll, A Black Legacy, we're again bringing cultural diplomacy in that Governor Nango was so excited, and we're so excited because for the first time in history, we are making a story that tells the story or bring a window into life in Africa. You see, most of the stories that we see in Africa was based on Tarzan, the jungle, negative stories. But what we're doing, we're having cultural diplomacy, whereas we're working with the African government to show a educational and positive story of Africa. And we want to highlight and show how wonderful it is, how wonderful the people in Kenya are. In fact, we invited the Kenyan president, Dr. William Ruto, to come here in Orange Mound because we connect Orange Mound and Africa. In fact, in the movie that we're shooting, there's a political party in Orange Mound in Kenya called the Orange Democratic Party. And they have all this beautiful bright orange, and they got orange and orange and orange. And we live in Orange Mound, so what we're doing, we're actually connecting Orange Mound to the Orange Democratic Party and our story. So therefore, Africans in Kenya could look at the movie and feel so proud that we're showing Kenya, and Americans get a chance to get a window into Africa. See, there's nothing greater than being a cultural diplomat. You see, not only do we bring Africa into the fold, but cultural diplomacy means bringing the family, bringing your community, bringing everybody. Just because we're making a movie here in Orange Mound, we're telling the story of Orange Mound, but now you got that mother whose child gets a chance to be in the movie. We tell the story of Orange Mound in that people can look at Orange Mound and they can say, wow, Orange Mound is the birthplace of the first 35 millimeter independent feature filmmaker in American film history. The fact that we are making this movie in Orange Mound, people who drive down the street or they look outside and they see this beautiful orange house. See, the story is about this young lady who goes to Melrose, which is here in Orange Mound, and she gets a scholarship to Howard University. She marries the son of an African diplomat, and she moves to Kenya. Well, they didn't get along too well. They divorced, but she comes back to Orange Mound to make a difference. And she brings forth an orange house, she got an orange car, she got orange clothes, we got an orange superhero, and she brings and she tells the story of Orange Mound. And we are doing this as a means of cultural diplomacy, where we give an opportunity because we are involved or engaged in the most powerful art form in the world. Filmmaking is the most powerful art form, where you got musicians, you got artists, and we offer an opportunity for people not only to be in front of the camera, but you can work with us and be behind the camera, and we are bringing a positive spirit. So, now that you got it, we are cultural diplomats, in that we bring family, friends, and we bring finance, and we're making a movie. The movie is going to be called Rock and Roll Black Legacy. I am Anthony Elmore Sr., Memphis' first independent theatrical filmmaker. Check us out.